Have you ever stopped to think about how many devices you own that are connected to the internet? Chances are, you have quite a few, from your smartphone to your smart TV, and everything in between. These devices, known as the Internet of Things, IoT, are incredibly convenient, allowing us to control our homes and devices remotely and receive alerts if something is amiss. But with all this convenience comes a dark side. IoT devices also come with some significant vulnerabilities. Hackers can exploit these vulnerabilities to gain access to your personal and financial information, disrupt your daily routines, and even cause physical damage. In this video, we're going to take a deep dive into the world. One of the biggest vulnerabilities of IoT devices is their reliance on passwords. Many people use weak, easily guessable passwords for their devices, making it easy for hackers to gain access. It's important to use strong, unique passwords for each of your devices to reduce the risk of being hacked. A strong password should be at least 8 characters long and include a combination of upper and lowercase letters, numbers, and special characters. Another vulnerability of IoT devices is the software that powers them. Like any software, IoT software can have vulnerabilities that can be exploited by hackers. To reduce the risk, it's important to keep your software up to date and to use the latest version of the software on your devices. Check for updates regularly and install them as soon as they become available. A third vulnerability of IoT devices is the risk of connecting to unsecured networks. When you connect to a public Wi-Fi network, for example, your data is at risk of being intercepted by hackers. To protect yourself, consider using a virtual private network, VPN, when connecting to public networks. VPNs encrypt your data and hide your IP address, making it more difficult for hackers to access your information. Finally, it's important to be cautious when connecting to unknown networks. Avoid connecting to unfamiliar networks, as they may be unsecured and pose a risk to your data. If you must connect to a public network, be sure to turn off the sharing of your device's data and limit the amount of sensitive information you transmit over the network. Of IoT vulnerabilities and show you what you can do to protect yourself. Are you ready to learn more about this growing threat? Let's get started. Now that we've talked about the different types of IoT vulnerabilities and some real-world examples, let's take a look at some tips for protecting yourself. Use strong, unique passwords. It's important to use strong, unique passwords for each of your devices to reduce the risk of being hacked. A strong password should be at least 8 characters long and include a combination of upper and lowercase letters, numbers, and special characters. Keep your software up to date. Make sure you're using the latest version of the software on your devices to reduce the risk of vulnerabilities. Check for updates regularly and install them as soon as they become available. Use a virtual private network, VPN. A VPN can help protect your internet activity by encrypting your data and hiding your IP address. Consider using a VPN when connecting to public networks to reduce the risk of your data being intercepted by hackers. Be cautious when connecting to unknown networks. Avoid connecting to unfamiliar networks, as they may be unsecured and pose a risk to your data. If you must connect to a public network, be sure to turn off the sharing of your device's data and limit the amount of sensitive information you transmit over the network. By following these tips, you can help protect yourself from IoT vulnerabilities and enjoy the convenience of connected devices without worrying about your security. Now that we've talked about the different types of IoT vulnerabilities and how to protect yourself, let's take a look at some real-world examples of these vulnerabilities in action. One well-known example of an IoT vulnerability occurred in 2016, when a massive distributed denial of service (DDoS) attack targeted the DNS provider. Hackers used a network of compromised IoT devices, such as security cameras and smart thermostats, to launch the attack, which resulted in widespread internet outages across the United States. Another example occurred in 2018, when researchers discovered that millions of smart locks could be easily hacked using simple tools and techniques. The vulnerabilities in these locks could allow hackers to gain access to people's homes, potentially leading to theft or other crimes. These are just a few examples of the types of vulnerabilities that can occur with IoT devices. It's important to be vigilant about protecting yourself and your devices to reduce the risk of falling victim to these types of attacks. I hope these real-world examples illustrate the importance of protecting yourself from IoT vulnerabilities. In this video, we've explored the world of Internet of Things, IoT, vulnerabilities and how they can impact both individuals and organizations. We've also looked at some tips for protecting yourself from these vulnerabilities, including using strong, unique passwords, keeping your software up to date, using a virtual private network, VPN, and being cautious when connecting to unknown networks. It's important to be aware of the risks associated with IoT devices and to take steps to protect yourself. By following these tips, you can enjoy the convenience of connected devices without worrying about your security. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you have a better understanding of IoT vulnerabilities and how to protect yourself from them. Be sure to check out the video posted in the comments for even more information on this important topic. I hope this conclusion chapter is helpful in wrapping up a YouTube video about IoT vulnerabilities. Let me know if you have any other questions.